Critical Role used to have an 8th member. You probably already know that, and you've likely seen videos on the guy, but if not, here's the brief. There used to be an 8th member of Critical Role, Orion Akaba. He sometimes made the other players uncomfortable and often derailed sessions with poor behavior. But to be honest, I feel like everyone involved has moved on with their lives, so there's not much point to dragging it up any further than that. The only reason I bring this up at all is because after 10 years, it seems like Critical Role may have finally found someone to fill that long, empty seat at the table. I am of course talking about the fan favorite real-life bard, Robbie Daymond. What's up, my name's Cam and I talk about D&D and other tabletop gaming stuff. If that sounds like your jam, then I hope you stick around. Critical Role remains massively popular and iconic in the tabletop space, but there's a growing sentiment that the show has started to feel a little flat. Now, to be real, I don't completely agree, but after a decade, it is understandable that longtime fans might not feel as excited as they once did. Some people point to declining view counts as evidence, though that could also be due to traffic shifting to their subscription service, Beacon, which for the record, I've tried. It's pretty good. It could also be due to less interest in Campaign 3, it could be new fans catching up on older content first, or it could even be the waning of the 2021 TTRPG boom from the pandemic. Or maybe people have just moved on to other groups that offer a fresh experience. The thing is though, none of this is necessarily bad for Critical Role. Personal bias opinion time. I think Campaign 3 features some of not just Matt's best storytelling and world building, but also some of the best chemistry among the cast. You can really tell that after years of playing together, they instinctively know how to bounce off of each other for the sake of the story. Campaign 3 in particular felt like a culmination of everything they've built over the last decade. Their own Avengers Endgame to their Critical Role cinematic universe. I don't really think Critical Role needs to reinvent itself or scramble for more viewers, but I do think they could benefit from a bit of a shift. A shift that, whether they realize it or not, they've already been testing for the last 3 years. Not just a guest player, not just a guest DM, but a permanent new seat at the table. No matter how you look at it, Robbie Daymond and his character Dorian Storm brought something new to Campaign 3, and fans absolutely responded. Robbie's approach to the game and how he told his character's story worked from episode 1, and I have a theory on why. Robbie entered Matt's world not as a 10-year veteran of Exandria, but as a newcomer who had to navigate both the world and the cast's already established play styles. In short, that's what every guest has to do, but what set Robbie apart was that his style of play was uniquely distinct. This bit's a bit trickier to explain, kind of a you know it when you see it thing, but let me put it like this. Sam Riegel is known for being a comedic player, but when the drama hits, he leans in hard. Liam O'Brien has an almost uncanny ability to vibe what Matt is setting up and helps bring it to life while role-playing. Ashley Johnson excels at creating those unexpected fun D&D moments that shake up the session without completely derailing it. The list goes on, I could quite literally do this for every single person in the cast. Robbie's strength? He has a calmness that balances everyone else's chaotic nature and creates wholesome moments that unite the party, without relying on a punchline as Sam so often does, which to be clear is not a bad thing. Time and again in Campaign 3, Robbie could have made a scene entirely about himself, like when it literally was, for example Dorian's departure from the group. But even then, he made a genuine effort to elevate the scene for everyone else, giving all of the other characters a chance to contribute and share in the moment and add in some way to this scene. So not only did Robbie bring a fresh experience for viewers, but he brought a fresh dynamic to the players at the table too. And that, in turn, changed the game itself. That's what I'm really referring to here when I say it made the game, or made Critical Role sessions, feel fresh and new. Robbie didn't just adapt to Matt in the cast, they adapted to him. And that, I think, is why Robbie resonated so quickly with fans. If you've watched this far, then it's about time I actually tell you about the guy himself. Robbie Daymond was born on a sunny day all the way back in... No, I'm kidding. Like the rest of Critical Role, Robbie is a voice actor and he's done a lot. But here's a few. Spider-Man, Prompto, Tuxedo Mask from Sailor Moon, a whole ton of anime. I'm sorry, I'm not I'm just not a big anime guy. He's pretty musically talented. He even wrote a short song for Bertrand Bell, Travis's character from early in Campaign 3. He also has some songs on his YouTube channel that are covers of existing songs, but in the voice of characters that he's done voice work for, which is pretty clever. There's something that seems really obvious when you watch episodes of Critical Role with Robbie Daymond. It's that everyone seems to really like him. I don't just mean in a host being nice to the guest way, I mean there appears to be a genuine chemistry. Now, of course, we don't actually know if that's true, but it sure looks like it, and I have to imagine that's why Robbie has popped up in so much other Critical Role content, like Candela Obscura. I said before that he knows when to fade into the background, but he also seems to have a keen eye for when to make his character useful, not just in achieving a goal for the group, but in creating story moments. For example, Dorian's begrudging friendship with Travis's Chetney that very quickly became one of the most compelling relationships in Critical Role's history. Chemistry isn't just something that can be taught or acted, it's something that you can just feel, like when Robbie and Sam improvised a song for an ad. I would never want to play the child having a tantrum card here, but if I could say this to Critical Role's team regarding Robbie Daymond for Campaign 4, it would be this. We have reached a point where Robbie's absence would be felt, but that's not a bad thing. That is a remarkable and a valuable thing. It means you've done it. Congratulations, you've found someone who makes your show more special for the people watching. I know at this point my video has turned into an unbridled glaze fest of Robbie Daymond. My bad, but I want to make one more final point for why I think Critical Role needs this guy. Another theory, if you will, for why he has struck such a chord. I'm sure all of the D&D playing fans of Critical Role have dreamed about being a guest on the show. So seeing this guest, especially such a likable one, be so embraced by the cast and crew, as well as the fans, I think it served as a bit of a wish fulfillment for a lot of people. Seeing Robbie approach playing the game as a newbie allowed everyone watching to put themselves in his shoes and see this show not as a critter who's been around for years, but just another fresh face with wide-eyed wonder. And if that's too pretentious, then my bad. Also, quick point, doesn't it just seem more symmetrically pleasing having 4 people in each of these frames? It's less important, but still. By the way, I also understand that none of what I've said really accounts for whether Robbie actually wants to return for Campaign 4, or even has at the time, but what do you think of Robbie Daymond? How would you feel about him coming back for Campaign 4 as a permanent cast member of Critical Role? Let me know in the comments, and look, I'm going to be making a lot more video essay style videos about D&D and other tabletop topics and discussions, that kind of stuff, so if that's your kind of thing, then stick around. Thank you so much for watching, and hey, tell your DM that I said you can roll with advantage.